Welcome back for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure to be back.
You know how this works. You send us something interesting, anything at all, and we take a deep dive into it, pull out the good stuff, and share it with everybody.
Trying to find those golden nuggets hidden just below the surface.
Exactly. And this time, we're taking a look at something a little different.
Oh, what's that?
Well, we've done a lot of deep dives on opening lines in the past. First lines of novels, poems, speeches, all kinds of things.
Those are always fun. You can really learn a lot about a piece of writing just from that first sentence.
That's right. And today we're looking at an opening line from a real classic, Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Ah, Huck Finn. Now, that's a book I haven't read in a while.
Yeah, it's one of those books everyone's heard of, but maybe not everyone has actually read.
That's true. Though I imagine a lot of our listeners are probably familiar with it.
You're probably right. But even if you've read it a dozen times, there's always something new to discover. And that's what we're here to do today. Take a deep dive into that famous opening line and see what makes it tick. Ready?
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
All right, here it is. You don't know about me without you have read a book by the name of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. But that ain't no matter.
Classic Twain.
Right. It's so conversational. It's like Huck is sitting right here talking to us.
Exactly. That's one of the things that makes Twain such a master storyteller. He had this amazing ability to create characters who felt real, who felt like people you could actually meet and have a conversation with. And he does that right from the start with Huck. That voice, that dialect, you can just hear him talking.
It's so distinct, isn't it? That informal regional dialect. You know immediately that Huck is uneducated, a bit rough around the edges, but there's also this undeniable genuineness to him.
Totally. And it's interesting that he mentions the Adventures of Tom Sawyer right off the bat.
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Well, it's a clever move by Twain. On the one hand, he's acknowledging a connection to a previous work, sort of like a sequel.
Which might make readers who love Tom Sawyer even more eager to read this one.
Exactly. But then he immediately dismisses it with, but that ain't no matter.
Like he's saying, yeah, you might know Tom, but this is my story.
Right. It establishes this book as Huck's own story, separate from Tom's. He's creating continuity, but also independence.
That's really interesting. It's amazing to me how much Twain packs into this one sentence.
Yeah.
It's like a whole world opens up right there in front of you.
Absolutely. And that phrase, but that ain't no matter, it's not just about separating Huck from Tom. It's also a subtle hint at Huck's rebellious spirit, his rejection of societal expectations.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, he's basically saying he doesn't care what people think. He's going to do his own thing. And that spirit of rebellion, that desire for personal freedom, becomes a central theme throughout the novel.
So it's foreshadowing some of the bigger ideas Twain will explore later on.
Exactly. But it's not all serious, right? I mean, there's also a lot of humor in that line.
Yeah, totally. The way he casually dismisses Tom Sawyer is almost cheeky. Like, Tom who? Never heard of him.
Right, and that's what makes Twain so brilliant. He can make you laugh out loud one minute and then have you deep in thought the next. He masterfully blends humor and depth. He uses Huck's informal language to create a sense of lightheartedness, but at the same time, he's subtly setting the stage for a story that grapples with some really serious issues. Racism, societal hypocrisy, you name it.
It's incredible, isn't it? In just one sentence, he gives us voice, humor, foreshadowing, and even a hint of social commentary.
It really shows you the power of a well-crafted opening line.
It can draw readers in, establish a distinct voice, and even give you a taste of the deeper themes to come.
Exactly, and that's what makes this opening line so memorable, even all these years later.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling ready to revisit Huckleberry Finn after this. It's amazing how a fresh look at just one sentence can completely change your perspective on a whole book. And that, my friends, is what these deep dives are all about.
Absolutely.
So what do y'all think? How does understanding the nuances of this opening line change your appreciation of Adventures of Huckleberry Finn? Give that some thought, and in the meantime, send us your favorite first lines from books, poems, movies, whatever you've got. We'll take a deep dive into them and see what we can uncover. Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.